Welcome everyone to the Heroes CCL pre-show presented by Wisdom. My name's Bahamut, and joining me for this adventure is going to be our analyst, Justing. How are you doing, my friend, and are you excited for our Heroes CCL Season 3 kickoff?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to see with all the new players being picked up into the league, how it's going to play out in this next season, Season 3. Real excited.
Now, in the future, this pre-show will be dedicated to kind of highlighting some of the clips from the previous weekends. And since we haven't had the season kickoff just yet, we're going to start off with, well, a little review and kind of catch everyone up of how we got here. We had a draft show at the start of October, and a couple new players have entered into the Nexus for these teams. So Justin and I are going to break down all those players for you, and we're going to discuss a little bit about our expectations for these teams leading into week number 1. We'll also get you caught up on which matches you can expect for the weekend as well. So Justin, let's kick things off and let's head over to Diamond Hands. We had a couple new players for Diamond Hands picked up in Nintori, Kelsier, and June. What are your expectations for this team or excitement?
So this team is a bit interesting. They took kind of the core roster from their NGS team and the players that are still on the team from before, including Kelsier, which they just added, they picked up. So this is like a team that is kind of dominant over in the NGS right now, for the most part. That's like where the team kind of came from. So it'll be kind of exciting to see, well, they are dominant in the NGS, how they're going to be able to perform here in the CCL, where the level of competition is a bit higher.
Yeah, and the experience of June is something I'm really excited for. Will he be healing? Will he play the Lost Vikings on Battlefield of Eternity again? We'll have to see if he busts those out. But moving into Granite Gaming, they were able to pick up X-Ray and Gia, keeping 4 of their main roster. And I have to say, Justin, I have a lot of excitement around X-Ray. His main tanking from the last season really shined for me.
Yeah, X-Ray was definitely a good pickup for this team. I think that he's one of the more dedicated players in the league. He really is focused on improving, and he always wants to be better, and his comms are always a really dominant thing. Picking up X-Ray and Gia, I think they're both really good pickups for this team. They both kind of have really dominant comms, and I'm not sure whether Gia is going to be starting or not as well, but I think that those two were probably the best players that they could have picked for a team that is European.
Oh yeah, and there's going to be a lot of synergy with those players as well from playing in different leagues and in other matches and tournaments. So I'm looking forward to Granite Gaming for Season 3. Jumping into Wildheart, I'm sure you're excited to talk about this one, Justin. They picked up Tremor, Slug Hunter, and Lupus. I believe Lupus is going to be the 6th man and will be rotated in and out, but what are your thoughts of just Wildheart moving into Season 3? Do you think the drafting style is going to change drastically?
Yeah, I definitely think that there's going to be a pretty big difference in the way that the team drafts. I believe Zergling is going to be the one who's kind of responsible for all that. Zergling definitely is a very smart player, but I know that he's also pretty preoccupied with how he's going to be having to likely role swap. So there's going to be a lot, and also be main shot calling for the team, which is something that he wasn't doing previously. So Zergling might be a bit overburdened. I do think that Tremor will prove to probably be the best tank in the league by the time Season 3 is done. And Slug Hunter is an all-around just good player, even though he was kind of the manager for Wildheart before. I think it'll be interesting to see whether he's able to keep up with the rest of the CCL players.
I'm excited to see the development of Wildheart going into the season. As we jump into Oxygen Esports, they only had to pick up one player, and they picked up a community member in Pirate Rum for their roster. And Pirate's one of those people, I've casted a ton of them. I mean, Heavy as well. It's actually, this roster's full of tons of community members. Do you think Pirate's going to be a really good flex for this team, or do you think he's going to be not played that much? I'm curious.
I wouldn't really expect Pirate Rum to get too much playtime, mainly because Oxygen was the only team that didn't drop any players from their main roster from Season 2. So I'm kind of expecting that Oxygen is going to be keeping things pretty much the same as before, and I think that they're a team that's going to be more focused on sort of development of the roster that they currently have, as opposed to how most of the other rosters made really big changes. Oxygen didn't make any changes at all really to their main roster, so I'm not really expecting to see Pirate Rum play too much unless one of the other players is really falling behind.
Okay. Well, I look forward to hopefully seeing his Mephisto at some point throughout the season. I mean, Gia made a big Mephisto breakthrough in Season 2 for us, so maybe we'll see that popping up. Getting into 30k, though, they picked up Bad Benny and Nagram. Both of them main tanks. Do you think that Bad Benny might fall into the coaching role here, Justin?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what strategy they had with picking 2 main tank players on the side of 30k. the other 4 members that they have are really strong in their respective roles. So I think that 30K will still be really strong, but I think only really time will tell whether they'll be playing with Bad Benny or Nagrom. They might be looking to have Bad Benny play maybe at the start and sort of be a bit of an apprenticeship situation with Nagrom. I'm not sure, because I know Bad Benny has, obviously has a lot of experience.
Oh, there's a lot of history with Bad Benny, and I'm excited to see what he's able to help or do with that team. Over on the side of Chile Mountain, we had a big, exciting draft from them here, Justing. They picked up Smexy and Max Passion. Max Passion had some really, really outstanding plays in some of the free agent games, but what is your expectations for Smexy coming back into the, I guess, main sort of league nature that is HeroesCCL?
I think SMX is going to just be kind of insane, to be honest. He's a world-class player. Mm-hmm. He's pretty much played at every single level of Heroes of the Storm. He's also just really he's just a strong-willed individual. I've had the pleasure of interacting with him a bit in the past at LAN events and stuff, and I know SMX is he's going to come to play. He's not going to be messing around, so I'm excited to see that. I think he'll bring some new life to the team, along with Max Passion, just some fresh new talent. I think that players like Azerite and Make are already really, really just standout players. So I think with some new infrastructure around them, they might be able to really perform this season.
We'll have to see what happens with Chile Mountain, and they've had some up and downs in the past 2 seasons, but I'm excited to see what they're able to bring to the table in Season 3. Moving into one, but not the last, of our teams, we had Storm Esports just pick up 1 player in Rutso, and you had talked about this in the past, Justing, about how we have really, really good core rosters, like you were talking about with Oxygen Esports. And so Storm Esports, do you think they're going to play a lot of Rutso, or is this going to be kind of like Pirate Rum for Oxygen, just kind of waiting, and maybe they'll be played in a niche time for a specific hero?
I expect Rutso to come in because I know that him and Lauber have some experience playing together. They may have also experience playing with Dequaza. I'm not positive on that, but Rutso was a really standout player previously in the CCL, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him playing probably on the starting roster to replace Kepi. Kepi was one of the best players on Storm, so I think it's going to be kind of a big shoes to fill for him, but I think Rutso, of all the players, is one of the ones that can definitely do that and make that happen for Storm.
I absolutely agree. I'm excited to see what just these rosters in play and who's going to be prioritized for a lot of these weekend matches. Last but not least, our 2-time champion, we have Simplicity. They drafted Mene, Fancy Pants, and Unaverted. Cure is sitting on the bench this season, Justing. I'm not totally sold that Cure doesn't want to play.
I agree. I foresee Cure not wanting to play allegedly at first. And then I kind of could definitely see if Simplicity is falling behind or something, that Kier maybe steps in and puts on his cape and, tries to save the day. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. If that doesn't happen, I definitely expect that Simplicity is going to experience a bit of a fall from grace.
Well, we'll see if that's going to be the case for the season, but that, everyone, is the catch-up when it comes to the draft that happened leading into HeroesCCL Season 3. We're excited for all the games that are about to take place, and let's go ahead and get you caught up on what games are going to be happening this upcoming weekend. For our Saturday matchups, we are going to be having Wildheart going up against Chile Mountain and Simplicity up against Diamond Hands. That'll be October 30th matches. Those are all best of 5s. Justing, for you, what's the standout match to watch on Saturday?
This is a tough one. I really want to see how Simplicity performs after losing 2 of what may have been their most integral members. Simplicity in the past has been extremely dominant with winning both seasons of CCL up until this point, and I think that although it's early, I'm really curious to see how they will do at the very start of the season against what should be hypothetically a weaker opponent for them.
We'll have to see, absolutely. I'm excited about that matchup, but as always, I don't try and hide it. I'm a Wildheart fan. I'm excited for that first match of Wildheart versus Chile Mountain, as well as to see, Smexy playing some support roles, and we'll see what he's able to do for the Chile Mountain crew. But that Saturday matchup is looking awesome. Going into our matches for Sunday, October 31st, on this Halloween, we've got Granite Gaming up against 30K and Oxygen Esports going up against Storm Esports. These are all supposed to be really, really good games with a lot of proving grounds, but Justing, for the matches today, which one are you looking forward to?
I'm really excited to see Oxygen versus Storm. Both of those teams didn't make the biggest changes. And I think that Oxygen, with the ability to just be practicing straight through from the previous season without making any major roster changes, might be a bit of a spooky opponent for the mighty Storm.
It's going to be a fun day of games, and I'm looking forward to all of them. But, you know, Granite Gaming, they got a lot to prove to me, so I really want to see what's going to happen with that Granite Gaming versus 30K matchup. As always, I encourage you to follow our other social media pages, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter for more HeroesCCL action. I've been Bahamut, and I'll see you in the Nexus.